here we are, just back from checking out a title long time in the making here. Finally getting hands-on with Kingdom Hearts 3.
It doesn't feel real.
It doesn't feel real.
It doesn't feel real.
We got to go to a Kingdom Hearts 3 premiere event where they did a very nice presentation for us.
Yes.
Introduced the game. Nomura came out.
The legend himself.
Yeah, I got to come out, spoke to us about some of the development of the game, and then we got to go through, first time in the world, public, I think, hands-on with Kingdom Hearts 3.
We did.
And we got to check out 2 demos.
Yes.
We got to check out Olympus, which many of you have probably seen footage of
Yeah,
it
it was like
before.
the first world they showed.
Yeah.
It was extremely short.
And but we actually got to physically play that, and then we got to dive into Toy Story.
Yeah.
A little bit meatier there, a little bit longer, a little bit more story stuff, and I think that was pretty much like the crux of the time spent was with that. So let's get out of the way. How does it feel to have finally played Kingdom Hearts 3? It's real. You've touched it now. How does that feel?
Feels good, dude! Oh my god!
I had a huge smile on my face. There were so many different types of attacks that you could do, and all of them were so over the top and ridiculously fun. Playing in the Toy Box level, hearing that Toy Story music come on, some of the jokes that they made, which I do not want to spoil because I think they're so good.
Yeah.
Like, I was laughing out loud with headphones on, surrounded by a bunch of other people. I just had this big geeky smile on my face because of how good it looked, how well it performed, and how good it felt.
Yep.
It felt so good. Every single action just was smooth the entire time, whether it was running up walls, whether it was just doing simple attacks, whether it was doing the special attacks, whatever it was, it felt extremely, extremely, extremely smooth.
I want to clarify something real quick before I move on because it just popped in my head.
Yeah.
Ben and I got to play the Xbox version, or so we played with the Xbox One controller.
Yeah.
You got to check out both.
Yes,
Brad.
I played both.
So you played on both, and you said
Keyblade Master.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I think they're the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
it seemed like it, yeah.
I guess it's just a little weird. First time playing Kingdom Hearts on an Xbox.
Felt a little
yeah.
unnatural.
Right, it's not that I have anything against
Yeah.
Xbox. I've just never played Kingdom
Yeah.
Hearts on an Xbox
Yeah.
controller,
Oh, yeah.
and so it was messing with my mind a little
Yeah.
bit. But you got used to
Yeah,
it.
you get
really
used to it
quickly.
pretty fast, yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about Olympus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The,
the first zone you should probably start with.
It introduces you very quickly to the scaling mechanic.
Yeah.
Being able to run up surfaces and move sideways, move up. I think one weird thing that hit me at first was that there wasn't necessarily like a subtle side-to-side movement. It was like you could very small, but like to actually dodge the falling rocks.
Much.
You had to literally start
was
running
real
horizontally,
slow, yeah.
which is interesting. It used to, but that carries over into everything else in the game. Is that that part gets you used to? Hey, you're going to be traversing walls and stuff. This is how it works. And I want to say I had a lot of fun doing it because I was really worried that would feel like terrible for some reason because it seemed like the biggest new thing they were adding. I mean, how do you feel about the wall running and all that stuff that they introduced in this one?
It felt pretty tight and reminded me. Are you talking about specifically the running up the mountain part,
That
or
and
just in
general? In general, yeah.
It felt pretty good. I would say always worked as intended. I wish it was a little bit tighter when you leap from like a wall and you kind of do like that weird flow motion between and like going to another wall. It didn't feel super tight, but otherwise everything else felt really good.
Okay.
I agree with you, Damiani, that as far as the horizontal movement goes, I wish it was a little bit smoother. Like there were definitely moments where it's like, oh, okay, this is really sharp when I'm going either direction, but it didn't end up being that big of a deal. Like you needed to dodge the rocks, and it was sufficient enough for you to dodge the rocks.
Yeah.
And I think that what you can climb on and jump on is highlighted really well. I liked the subtle white, like kind of almost watery effect on any surface that you could run up, and that's very clear during combat. It stands out really well. Or there are like these yellow sparkles when you need to jump up.
Yeah, like
and
on the
across
boss phase, yeah.
And so it's very clearly labeled, and I was never running into any moments where it's like, okay, I'm running on the wall and I don't want to be. Like that never happened to me.
One of the most unique things I felt about the opening Olympus thing is that it wasn't the Coliseum again.
No.
We were not going back to this arena to fight. It was a completely different type of experience.
Right.
And I want to know how you like felt about that. Like, especially because it said it's like one of the earlier things you get to see in the game.
Yeah, great. I love the Coliseum, but I think it was time to explore the world of Hercules a little bit more, because like we have been the Coliseum on Olympus, then we were down in the one in the underworld, and it's kind of like been that, but now we're seeing a little more like the actual Mount Olympus itself. You're seeing it. It looks like from the trailer they showed a long time ago, you're like walking around Greece and stuff like that, which they've never done.
You're fighting a Titan. I'm not sure what there is to complain about. It's
Rock Titan,
great.
baby. Sick.
We have not, I'm sure you're going to bring this up, but
Yeah.
the riding around on a roller coaster around the Titan is pretty darn good.
So basically with the fight, you start off, you climb, you're running up the mountain, he's throwing rocks down you the whole time. You get up to his feet, you knock his feet down, then he kind of like falls over. Then there's like that highlighted, the glittery spots you can kind of go on, so he like jumps up them. Mm-hmm. Then you hit his face for a little bit, then it triggers that prompt where you can summon the Thunder Mountain train from Disneyland, pretty much. You're riding that thing on the tracks, man, and like you're shooting it while it's going, and the Titan's like trying to punch at you, and you shoot his arms back while he's doing that.
And you have a limited amount of time when he's punching, because there'll be a circle timer,
so you
and you want to hit his hand before he punches you on this sweet magic roller coaster.
Oh my god, so jolly!
Yes,
then you have like your special you could do with triangle,
right,
to do this insane attack. Oh my god! But that was pretty much the end of that demo.
Yeah, it was pretty cool looking.
Yeah, it was like a nice little intro.
I do have one last question about that part.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious how you felt about the Titan boss fight itself. Did you feel it was pretty smooth and easy to do everything that you needed to do?
Yeah.
No problems whatsoever with any of the controls or anything like that. So
yeah,
pretty
felt smooth.
I mean, it was the first time that I had played it on this controller.
Besides that, I meant
so
like
there was a period of adjustment, but
beyond
the actual fight itself, no.
Because it's a large scale fight, and I think people are kind of curious, like how does that feel? Do you feel like kind of lost, or was like the information presented to you was easy enough to process to tell what you're supposed to do?
I would say for as much as I can't state enough how clear Kingdom Hearts 3, despite how much is going on visually, and there is a lot at all times going on visually based on our demo experience with this, how clear it is with what you're supposed to do and what you're supposed to attack. Because right when you get up to the Titan, the thing you can lock on to is his foot. And so you go, okay, I know I need to hit his foot. His attack is slow enough that when it stops down, you can easily avoid it. When you need to jump up and start hitting his face, there's a different marker saying, hey, you're going to move on to another phase of the fight. So yeah, I thought it was all very clearly communicated.
Oh, that's great. I pretty much, I agree with that. I loved what they did with it. I would say though, while it was a really good opening segment for our demo, I think it didn't really hit me as hard in terms of like how visually good, like the production values of this game, until we jumped into Toy Story.
Yeah, because
in Andy's room and playing it because we'd seen it in videos. Now playing it with the controller and verifying it's real time. That's what the seamless transition from the cutscene into the fight.
Right.
So good. Yeah. How'd you feel about that?
Great. The combat, for anyone wondering, is like a mix of kind of all the games. They throw in elements from all, like, there's the Birth by Sleep mechanic where you do certain moves, and by doing moves, it builds up like a specific meter, and it does like a special move with that. So, for example, like, in this level, we had 3 Keyblades to choose from. We had a Toy Story one, we had a Tangled one, and we had a Monsters, Inc. one.
The best one.
Yeah, so if you, like, build up, for example, the Toy Story one, it turned into it was like a rocket hammer. It was like Buzz's rocket hammer.
Hyper hammer or something.
Hyper hammer.
And you use it to shatter the earth.
Yeah, it's super rad, dude.
Yes.
And also that meter can build up to give you something else. What was it? I can't remember. It was the drill, I think. Like that. You could use the drill. It changes the combat.
Yep.
And all the Keyblades had like a specific like form tied to it. So if you could theoretically find a Keyblade maybe that you like the form more. Like I wonder if like, because in the old ones, like Keyblades had stats. And you kind of get a new Keyblade and you wouldn't use another one anymore like that. This one seems like you're more switching them out like all the times for specific things, which is nice.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Like, I love that to see like the different specials that came out.
Yeah.
It felt like I wanted to switch between them actively.
Absolutely.
And it didn't feel, because it's a simple D-pad left or right on it to switch it.
Easy
versus
switch.
going to a menu and having to like de-equip and re-equip, which is really nice. How did you feel about like the combat system in there first?
Yeah, there's two important things that I want to say in comparison to our Olympus demo.
Okay.
You would think that because they said, hey, this is at the beginning of the game, you're going to be fighting this big bad, there was a lot of spectacle. It was nice to see that level of spectacle carry over in even to the most basic fights. Like, these attacks look as good as all of them look as good as the roller coaster that you were doing against the Titan.
Even like the normal spells, like your thunder and blizzard, like that, they look great.
Just absolutely incredible. And the thing that I want to say about all these different types of moves is there's enough variety in what they ask you to do. So when you're doing a link attack, for example, with aerial and you're splashing in the ground, you have to kind of time it so it's like, okay, I have to hit the button when we're going down into the ground. And then you'll have something like this raft that you're in. You have to target the water
raft,
to hit the enemies.
Really
and so you're just... The way that the attacks function are different enough between them. And you have such like a huge variety of things that you can do between all the different Keyblades that it's really fun just mixing it up all the time. And it really goes a long way in keeping things fresh.
I could not agree more with that. Like, I loved the spectacle. I loved how it varied stuff up, and it had its own set of like rules. The rocket one specifically, because these could carry on outside of battle.
Yeah.
So I'm flying around in a rocket out of battle, and I could like I'm high up. Oh, I maybe can reach up.
The rocket!
Yeah, like the rocket was just like so fun.
Yes.
Like there's just it makes. I have a feeling it was there because it helps. All this helps make even remedial battles feel so much more meaningful and enjoyable. One thing that struck me very early on in the Toy Story demo that I didn't get in the Olympus demo was the sense of scale of the environments.
Right.
So Andy's room was like pretty typical. It was a little decent size, and then you go outside and you're out in
the roof.
Yeah, you're on the roof, and then you're like in the street and you're fighting the lawns and everything.
Right.
But then you get to the toy store.
Yep.
And the scale, like this 3-story toy store. Is just like massive
compared to other ones.
While it's not, they're segmented off zones, so it's not seamless. But still, the scale was really way bigger than anything it's seen, and like I like that.
They kept emphasizing like verticality on this thing instead of like most Kingdom Hearts games, where it's just kind of like one floor flat.
Yes.
There is like three floors you can go up and down.
You've got 3 different floors. You can grind your way up to any of the floors. You've got rooms to explore on
there you go.
It's very, very nice.
That's what I want to hit on, Ben.
Yeah.
The exploration.
Yep.
I felt like once I was in the toy store, I was like, I want to explore on floor 2.
Yep.
Oh, I accomplished my objective, but there's more stuff. There is a sense of you want to go check out what's in these corners and stuff, and it.
You mentioned like how you're like, oh, Andy's room, this is nice, but it's very small because it's just a kid's room. But how well they hid treasure chests within Andy's room, where it's like, oh, okay, if I climb on top of this door frame, there's gonna be a treasure chest here. If I sneak underneath this bed, there's a treasure chest here. So they're really taking advantage of any space, regardless of how big or small it is, which I really, really like.
Just really good details put in there that just weren't present in any of the previous games.
Yeah.
And I think it does a lot to go for it.
I have to call attention to, we were talking about the variety of moves and how great the spectacle was. It was so great going to the toy store and you have these toy mechs that you can get in.
Yes, dude.
Yep.
And what's great is it's like, okay, this is this whole new mechanic. Like I can hop in this mech, I get this different move set. And it would be great if there was just one of them. But there are different types of mechs that you're fighting, and they all have their own special move, which is really fun.
Yeah,
just
the one had like a cannon blast on the side, and the other one had like a charge.
Yep. The shoulder tackle was my favorite.
Which was great is because you could like, you get in the mech, but you could seamlessly get out if you wanted to. You could destroy an enemy one, then get inside that mech.
Right. It just makes you wonder, how crazy is this going to be in other worlds? Are there going to be other things that, like other vehicle types things that I could get in or interact with? But yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what's to come if they're starting with they're showing us this now. And I just want to say I love playing in the mech. I love being able to like dash dodge. I love being able to hover, but like it costs your health, so like you might like deplete it. And so it's like a little bit of a risk reward. You could charge in melee and get out, and then like heartless or like nothing to you, but they're also a little small, so you kind of like take more time to aim at them.
And you see like your party fighting them all, like when you're in a huge mech.
You can like help them out, like oh they're getting attacked, like like take them out.
This is all just total conjecture on my part, but Nomura, it felt like as he was talking, he drew special attention to the mechs and is like, please have fun with these mechs.
Yeah, they really emphasize that.
It's like in my head, I'm thinking like, this guy just wants to make a mech game, and this is what he put into Kingdom Hearts.
Let him do it.
Yeah.
And again, like I love that after a fight, if I was on a mech, I could still keep walking around in it to explore. So it felt like it was a good reward. You run into another battle. I'm already in a mech, guys. This is great. It's just fun. I'm sure people looking for more like talking about like challenge and stuff. Like we don't know what difficulty we play it on. We don't know any of that.
I assume it was just normal.
Just expect that there'll probably be harder difficulties and you can up the challenge and stuff. I want to talk a little bit about like the story because what we were presented in terms of the Toy Story demo.
I want to be careful because I do think there's so much good stuff.
I don't want to talk about specifics. I just want to talk
about
how you felt. Did you feel it was? Do you feel more engaging than previous ones? How do you feel about like everything was completely voiced? I want to point that out. Even side dialogue, if you went back to try and talk to characters again after a cutscene, still voiced.
There's the number one thing that I wanted to bring up in this conversation was the direction of the cutscenes and the care that they went for these cutscenes. Like every single cutscene, they're doing all of these different crazy types of shots, like very quickly, very, very well. The way that characters like walk into the frame, the way that they position like a character's head for a dramatic moment, like this is really excellent stuff.
Yes.
And it makes the cutscenes so much more interesting to watch. Because of the level of care that they put in. I was very impressed by that.
Yeah, there's a lot of cutscenes too, like way more than we're used to with like normal Kingdom Hearts. Like for example, when you're talking like Aladdin, Kingdom Hearts 1, there's a little bit every now and then, but like this had like a lot.
But to me, without saying any specifics, it felt like the story was always moving forward.
Yes.
And it was pushing towards a new gameplay segment, and I liked where the story was going. I liked the interactions with the Toy Story cast, with Buzz and with Woody and Rex and Ham and Sarge and everyone else. It's like, this is good. Yeah. Like, I don't feel like this is bogging anything down. The pacing's still good. Right. I liked it.
The way that they framed it is we saw like 30% of the Toy Story world. But within that 30%, it felt like we had an interesting and immediate conflict going on with the Toy Story characters that was also very tied into the broader goal of what Sora and Donald and Goofy were trying to accomplish. And like both things were pushing ahead at the same time.
And I liked how, again, without spoiling specifics, Kingdom Hearts style story stuff, the general, what people refer to as Kingdom Hearts BS, like the annoying stuff, it was very toned down for whatever we saw. It was very matter of fact. And it lent itself to the current plight that they were doing.
But there was also enough of it that it felt right.
Oh yeah, it still evoked like this is still Kingdom Hearts.
It made it feel like
it's still there.
It made it feel like main quest still instead of like a side quest.
Exactly.
Yeah, like it's like you beat this world, you'll get more payoff to this. But for now, here's your morsel, and you're gonna run with this in the story of this world, which was great because sometimes it would completely put the brakes on stuff. Like the organization members showing up, having a huge monologue, like what the hell was the point of that?
Yeah.
So it was kind of nice to see it didn't interrupt so much as before.
Right.
Just before I forget, this is like not on this tangent because we already talked about links. I just want to talk about like Wreck-It Ralph. Because the stuff did leak, and people are wondering if it's a world and stuff. It's just a summon.
Yeah,
it's a link summon, and do you want to explain how it worked, Brad? Because
it's very cool.
Yeah, because it's pretty cool.
Pretty much, Sora just jumps on his back. He's like riding his shoulders like that. He places like blocks down for one of his. Well, he could charge also, so he could put blocks down with like cannons on them. I think they were or something like that. And he can also charge, and he has a certain amount of blocks you can put down. Then at the end, he does like, do they all blow up? I was trying to remember, or they all go off or something like that.
And I think you could like toggle between which ones you actually drop.
Yeah, you could like pick. Yeah, like they had like different shaped ones or something like that.
So the blocks, when I did the attack, the blocks emitted a blue light. Yeah. That when the enemies got into that blue light, they were completely frozen.
Yeah,
which
there we go.
Yeah,
okay, that's what it did. And then he just like does something that like sets off everything around him. And it looked like it blew up every block. Just it was like an AOE explosion type.
And his animation when he like comes into the game,
he comes like from the arcade cabinet.
Yeah, it's like the arcade cabinet just falls like down.
Oh my gosh, so good. That also reminded me one thing. Fix It Felix Jr. or something. I liked how Brad pointed this out to me because I was a little confused about back to the battle system really quick.
Right.
You could trigger multiple layers of special abilities at once. And at first I thought like you can only pick one, but you can cycle through them and pick them as you like, which I like.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
I like that. I was like, oh, you can pick.
So you could like put combos together, something like that.
Like
just adding a little more depth.
Having more like authority over which actions come out like that at a higher level. I think it's nice because you could hold on to something like, I'm just gonna waste this. I use it now. I'm gonna use this one. Good thing to do.
Yeah, it's great.
Really liked it. I do want to talk about the like boss fight at the end.
The waifu doll.
Oh yeah,
it's so funny.
Yeah, like how did you feel about that as a boss fight, or even if that was it? I don't know if it's necessarily a boss fight. Yeah. Like. Did you enjoy it?
Felt like, it was fine. It felt like it didn't feel like the final boss of the world.
Yeah,
it felt like just a little like mini boss in between.
Boss.
Yeah, mid boss kind of thing like that. It was like a doll with like a heartless thing on her, so like the heartless took over her, something like that.
Yeah, she had like bunny ears, and it had the heartless symbol.
Yeah. It was more about like she keeps her motions, like she weaves up,
and she was like,
the weird.
I thought that was really cool.
And then like slams down, and then summoning more like adds essentially to come into your aid.
Yeah.
Or her aid, sorry. And I like that because it felt like it'd get a good enough distance from you, and it like forced you to have to either fight through some enemies. It wasn't as simple as just you could stay around them and like roll dodge and just keep attacking them. It took up more space, I felt like, than like the usual fight that I was used to. I don't know if you thought that or had if you actually liked how it played out or anything.
I feel like the fight went very quickly for me.
It was.
So when you were saying you just can't just roll dodge, that's basically what I did. I had a barrage of attacks, and then when she would do a dive, I would just dodge it away, go back in, and it was over.
I think we had some things that you won't at this point in the actual game. I think someone was saying that to me, so we had probably like more tools to work with.
Okay.
We had so many tools that it was just easy to do a ton of damage very quickly.
Yeah.
Like that, even like the spell stuff, like you trigger any of them, you didn't have like it would like have the next higher version ready to go as well, so that you could like summon that. Like it felt like there were just enough extra layers to the battle system at any time that it felt more evolved than anything I'd previously seen in the series.
Definitely,
It felt great.
And we even talked about just briefly the adjusted flow motion system is sort of back. That you can bounce off the walls and like get that like charge, so you can do like more damage.
But you can't like just jump on walls forever.
Yes.
Like you couldn't dream drop distance.
Because it has they like reduced the range you could use it. And the only part that felt like you could just do that over and over was in the air duct part in the toy store. I was like, oh, you can just bounce off and go like that. And even that, it didn't feel as ridiculous as before. I felt like.
Yeah.
Whew, good stuff. What about the music? How do you like the music in the Toy Story? Like classic stuff?
Classic stuff.
Well, who's going to complain about Toy Story music?
Oh, sometimes they like,
I'm just kidding around.
And we talked about the voice work. I mean, we talked a little bit before we came here in terms of like the authenticity.
I think we should talk about the voice work.
Let's talk about that.
I think with characters that are that familiar, right? When you talk about somebody like Woody and Buzz, it's hard to have a sound alike that feels right. But I think they did a great job. Both Woody and Buzz. I think Buzz is maybe a little bit better, but both of them were very strong and really sold the scenes. I thought the voice acting throughout our demo was consistently pretty strong.
Oh yeah, I'd say especially compared to the other ones too. I mean, Sora, Donald, and Goofy all sound really good too. Like, what did you expect? They sounded great.
Yep. I mean, if you listen closely enough, to probably Woody and
Buzz,
you
could like
you'll catch it. Like that doesn't exactly sound like
when
Tom
Woody
Hanks. But
first started talking, I was like, that's not Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
But then like 10 seconds later, it didn't even matter to me. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, it was good enough, and I think after a few minutes, it just becomes natural to you to roll with it, and you accept it, and it's good.
Man, just the level of detail. Every time I saw it, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a nice little touch." Like just when they would zoom in on Woody's face, and you'd see like little scratches,
and stuff. I was like, "Whoa." They even got that.
Did you see the like on Buzz the logo for like the toy company? It was like Disney's Pixar. Like that's where like the toy manufacturer thing would be on them or something like that.
I expect a lot of stuff like that, Brad, scattered throughout.
There
like,
was
this stuff.
some funny stuff we saw too. I don't know if we should bring it up though in the toy store.
We should probably save that.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll save it.
Okay. We're thinking about the same thing.
Yeah, we gotta
Okay.
be.
I think so.
Okay.
Some funny stuff in there.
Some
Yeah,
merch.
Some funny
Some funny
toys.
merch. Okay.
Some funny toys.
Yeah. They'll probably show that by E3 or something. I'm assuming.
We'll let them see it.
Yeah. I want to finish up by saying, like we were talking about, like the music Toy Story. I went back to the title screen and just sat there.
I know.
I listened to the entirety of Dearly Beloved on the demo select screen, and I was just like, yeah.
There was a second
Such a
because
moment.
you were behind me when we were playing, and I was like, "Is Damian okay? Oh, he's okay. He's just listening to music. Okay, all right, that's good."
Yeah.
Any like final thoughts about now that you've actually finally played?
Feeling
Kingdom Hearts
real
3?
confident in it now.
Yes,
I'm feeling real confident at ease. Like there's always like the development hell game going on that you're worried about. You're like, oh, this is gonna be good or anything like that. It's like,
right. I mean, and especially with something like Kingdom Hearts 3.
yeah,
right?
like high stakes, man.
This is a game that a lot of people have been looking forward to for a very long time.
yeah.
And so expectations are high. And obviously you don't want to get out here and say like, yes, it's for certain going to meet all of your expectations. We don't know what's going to happen in that story. We don't know what all the worlds are going to be. There are all these caveats, but I think from my perspective on our demo, based on the 2 little vertical slices that we got, it's hard not to be extremely confident.
Yeah. Like you said, like from what we saw, I was very pleased.
Yes. It hit a very high bar for me.
That is really good to hear. I feel very excited as well. I feel bad because I forgot to mention something earlier. Because during the presentation, I'm sorry, like stuff that just got me excited as well. For like, because they talked a little about
There's
what
some good stuff in there.
Yeah, they showed off like Tangled stuff with the hair and
the animations,
how they had to get the hair physics right, interacting with the environment. It was just the amount of like work they're putting in to get that right, and then showing it. Like, we're not just saying we're doing it. Here it is.
Yeah,
we
right.
got
The actual animation.
I don't think it comes across when you're just listening to us talk about it. When we're like, listen, watching Rapunzel carry around her hair is
Rapunzel,
like majestic. Like, they did such a good job animating it. It's fascinating that like she's got this big bundle of hair and this huge long stream behind her, and the way that it's like interacting with the things that she's running past and as she's jumping out, it's like, wow, like the level of detail here is just extraordinary. It's really good.
For sure. Final things real quick. They did talk about like what's coming in the near future.
Yep.
So first of all, they said at E3 they have a lot more to show. A lot more to reveal is what they said. So despite having this event, there's still more. Don't think this is the end of it.
This is the start.
And probably the question everyone's gonna be asking people who went to this is like, oh, they talk about the release date, and what they said is that they'll be ready to probably announce it in literally it was early June, which is like
June. So probably E3.
Expect E3 that will finally get the release date for Kingdom Hearts 3. So it's happening.
It's happening.
It's almost happening.
We live in a year where Kingdom Hearts 3 has been played and coming out. It's coming out. It's happening. We saw Nomura.
Is this real life?
No.
Wow.
It's not.
It's happening.
It's not.
It's happening.
Yeah.